I learned an important lesson today. A lesson about a color that I will never wear ever again. I'm down $11,000 and, well, I can really only blame one color. You know what the color is.
I gave red a chance. I tried to make it work. I gave it every chance in the world. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
So today's one of those days where I got a little aggressive and I paid the price for it. I felt early in the morning that I was starting to get frustrated because I tried to take 3 trades and all 3 of them, for whatever reason, I wasn't getting filled. It was really weird. I'll have to see if it happens again. It was probably just the luck of the draw, but I was feeling frustrated because I missed 3 good opportunities. So then the 4th trade comes up and I'm trying to compensate for missing the first 3, and I go in with bigger size. I get right in. I'm like, I'm not missing this one. And then it drops right away and I lose $4,000. I mean, it was ugly. And then a minute later, I see another stock hit the scanner and I did what I always say I shouldn't do, which is I impulsively jumped in. I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, it's up 80 cents. It looks like it's about to get halted on a circuit breaker. I'm gonna jump in. It's probably gonna get halted. It's gonna open higher and boom, that's gonna get me out of the hole. I was thinking, get me out of the hole instead of, is this a good trade? And that's that thing we talk about needing that moment of pause. If I could set up this type of thing on my account where if I have a trade that I'm down more than $4,000, I'm not allowed to take a new trade for 15 minutes. Like just a pause. And if I try to, it's going to reject my order. Hey, you're in your 15-minute pause. That for me would be incredible because it would stop me from doing this snowball. Having one loss and then right away going in for a second, a third, and a fourth. So I'm down 11,000 bucks today. And even though I was up 14,000 on Wednesday and 4,000 yesterday, today feels a lot worse than those days felt good. So those days were like, yeah, decent days, and then down 11,000 bucks. It feels horrible. I'm gonna go into the weekend. I'm gonna spend the whole weekend thinking about how I'm such an idiot for being so aggressive. But I'm gonna try to, cheer myself up, pat myself on the back, and say, hey, you're still up $20,000 on the week. It's still a great week. Yeah, you pushed it, but you don't know your limit until you push it, and you don't get to $583 to $500,000 without pushing it sometimes. And when you're on the edge of your comfort zone, sometimes you will fall, you will have losses, but you get back on the horse, and that's what I'm going to do on Monday morning. So anyways, we'll break down all of the trades today during today's midday market recap. All right, everyone. So finishing the morning here, important lessons were learned today. And that's what trading is all about, learning from your mistakes. My biggest mistake was choosing to wear red today, which is a color that I will never wear again as a trader. Finishing the morning down $11,000, which is obviously completely disappointing. And I had such a great week. So, to be up 28,000 on the week and then have this loss is disappointing for sure. To have the loss right before the weekend, I'm going to be thinking about it all weekend long. So, yeah, I'm still up 20 grand on the week or whatever it is, which is good. But it almost, it's one of those feelings of you're only as good as your last trade. So it just basically feels like that doesn't mean anything to me. Then I'm just being honest about how it feels. I'm sure some of you guys are like, geez, I would kill for a $20,000 week, and even if it meant that I had to lose $11,000 on Friday, I'd still kill for it. But when you're in the midst of it and you're in the zone, you don't feel like a hero for finishing the week up 20 grand when it's like you're in a race and you have the best time, but you crawled for the last quarter mile. It's like, all right, I don't really feel like I finished with a lot of confidence or a lot of strength. Yeah, I finished. I guess I came in, first or whatever it is, but it's certainly not the strong finish that you were going for. So that's kind of how I feel right now. And again, I'm just, I'm not trying to be ungrateful for making $20,000 in a week. I do feel really fortunate for that, and those feelings of being fortunate will come a little bit later. But right now, I still feel a little bit disappointed in my trading today. So let's break down the trades from this morning. It happened pretty quick. I stopped trading at like 9:40. I mean, I was done in the first 15 minutes. So very first, well, here's the thing. And for this is interesting. So my first trade attempt was on MDGS. And what was kind of weird was I tried to jump in at $2 for the opening range breakout, 10,000 shares. I punched it at $2 and I didn't get filled. Bad luck, it is what it is. So I didn't get filled at $2. It squeezes up to a high of 240, which would have been a $4,000 winner, and I probably would have sold for like a $2,500 winner. I probably would have gotten like half of that. So that was a bummer that I missed that trade completely. So I didn't get anything on that, nothing. Then Cali comes up on the scanner, and I try to jump in Cali with 5,000 shares at 227. It then squeezed up to 527. Then squeezed up to 584, and I missed it. So I missed two trades in a row, and now I'm like getting frustrated. And I knew I was getting frustrated, but I was just like, take a breath. It's okay. BGI was halted. It was up 100%, and it resumes from the halt. And I jumped in thinking it looked like it was going to squeeze higher and maybe go to $3. I got in at 257 and 259 and 269 here with like 100 shares. It then like instantly drops to $2, and I was just like, okay, that's going to be a loss. It pops up to 250. I gave it a second, and then it dropped all the way to $1.56. I mean, what a rejection. So this is really, you have a margin of error, and for whatever reason on this one, it just didn't hold up at all, and so I took a $4,000 loss on it. And here's the problem. So that was at 9:38, and 90 seconds later, CDNA hits the scanners, and without taking time to really slow down and say, look, you're down $4,000 on the day, why don't you just maybe call it a day and be done? I see this spiking up, and I'm like, I'm going to jump in it. I'm going to jump in it at $8 because this thing looks like it's going to get halted on a circuit breaker. I want to get in before the halt. It'll probably halt, and then I'll try to sell it up around $9. That's what I was thinking. All right, so I was like, I'm just going to jump in this. And I jumped in aggressively. I was thinking it was about to get halted. I took 10,000 shares and then added another 2,500 at literal high of day. Well, not literal. It was 8:30, and it hit a high of 35. And then it dropped. It came all the way back down to 698 3 minutes later. It did not hit a circuit breaker halt. It did not continue higher. And on that one, I had to bail out. And I sold half at 58, a quarter at 48, and the rest at 40 for a $7,000 loss. And, that's how quickly the tide can change. So one of the things that I was mentioning in the little video that I made before this recap, so those of you watching on YouTube will see it. Those of you on Facebook, you haven't seen it yet. I was talking about how you don't know the edge, you don't know your limit until you push it. And you don't know how long a hot streak will run until you take that loss. Because in the last few days, stocks just like BGI have been getting halted 3 times. So buying after the first halt has been okay because they've been going into a second halt, and several have gone into a third halt. So this, based on what's the setups we've been trading this week, this was a good entry. Now, it didn't work, but it doesn't mean that this wasn't working all week. And that's what gave me the 28,000 or whatever in profit that I got up until today. Cali, it was the same thing. I got in that at 525 as it was squeezing up, and it squeezed up to $8. PRPO, I got in at $1.28, and it squeezed up to, $2.50 or whatever it was. So this just didn't work today, and I should have been faster on CDNA I should have done two things. I should have said, I shouldn't have even taken the trade because I should have just said, you're down $4,000. Be very, very careful about what you're willing to trade. It's better to wait on the pullback than just jump in. And on this one, I just jumped in. And that was a mistake. I should have waited on a pullback. Jumping in can work when you're in a really strong market. But today already, I was getting the early warning signs that the market was not strong. So that was a problem. And, you know, I wish that I had this kind of reset button on my account where, you know, I go into my trade warnings here and I could create a warning. I have a warning at share size. I'm going to bring this down to 10,000 shares for Monday because I don't want to take really big size on Monday. I want to just be green and get back on the horse and not have another big loss. But I wish I could have another one here where if you have a loss bigger than X amount, maybe I say $2,000, don't warn me on taking a trade anytime for the next 15 minutes. So I would just sort of have that additional warning sign not to keep jumping impulsively into trades because it can be impulsive. And that's what I talk about with the emotional side of things, that even though logically I'm saying, yeah, I got to wait, I got to slow down, when you're in the heat of the moment, especially after having a really big win or a really big loss, it's easy to get a little impulsive and to trade from an emotional standpoint. And I've been doing this for 7 years, 6 years, and I'm saying even now, these things still happen to me. You don't become totally immune to it. You constantly have to reinforce good trading behavior and and making good decisions even when you are under pressure. But we were looking at my Trader View report yesterday, and I'll pull it back up today just to again put things in perspective a little bit, not to discredit the fact that this is a red day, but this is my month so far. This will be my third red day of the month, and I can look at, let's see, where is this, win-loss days. I'm trying to remember which one shows the big equity curve. Let me filter. I'll filter this all the way through January of 2017. Win-loss expectation. Can never remember where it is. There's somewhere where you can see a chart of your equity curve. I think it might be under detailed, actually. Detailed win-loss expectation. Here it is. So this is my equity curve, starting with $583, a year ago, and strong move up, some sideways, another big push up right here. This was a huge leg up, but I had some drawdowns. I had drawdowns here, and I had a little drawdown here in February before I've started to open up. So this, this right here, this little blip was $14,000 of profit. So just to put it in perspective, so losing $11,000 today, I'm going from here to like here. And I'll recover. I'll get back on the horse. It'll be Monday morning, and we'll just keep grinding back up, making my way up towards the $1 million line in the sand. That's the goal, to take $583 and turn it into $1 million. And it'll happen. And there will be other big days like this. This isn't my biggest loss of the year, and it probably won't be the only time I have a 5-figure loss in 2018. I'm sure I'll have another one that catches me off guard. I'm in a really nice hot streak, and then boom, I take a big loss and I get knocked down. That's part of trading, getting knocked down. And that's why a lot of people say this is such a hard job, because you've got to be able to handle getting knocked down. And it's not fun. It's not fun to take these big losses. Actually, this might be the biggest loss of the year. I don't remember if I had a day in February that I lost this much. February was a worse month in terms of accuracy, but let's see. I actually didn't have a $10,000. I had a $7,500 losing day. And then in January, January was pretty strong. So yeah, this is actually my worst day of the year here. That'll be $11,000. And why do I not have a trade for the 13th? Don't tell me I didn't trade that day, because I know that I did. Let's see, the 13th. Yeah, all right, so I'll have to add that in there. But anyways, 14,000 green on Wednesday, 9,000, 8,900 on Monday, and yeah, 11,000 today. It's disappointing. I guess it's the worst day of the year, but it's probably not going to be the only day of 2018 that I'm down more than 10 grand. So you guys will be able to watch over my shoulder through all the ups and all the downs, midday recap every day as usual, and this is really you being able to see what it's like to be a trader. Yeah, we're gonna have awesome days, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 days. I'm hoping to have a day sometime this week where I make $100,000 in a single day, but I will have days where I also take big losses. You know, if you're stepping up to the plate and going for big winners, sometimes you're gonna miss and you're gonna strike out, and that's just part of the deal. So yeah, Peter, still finishing up probably 18 grand on the week, right around there. So green is good, and even though I had a little bit of a bump here at the end of the week and I learned an important lesson about wearing the color red, it's not going to stop me from getting back on the horse on Monday morning. All right, so I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and we'll be back at it first thing on Monday. All right, I'll see you guys then. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.